Welcome to Transformation Station. My name is Laure and I'm a designer at Fontys, where we develop and execute educational programs based on design-based learning principles. In this podcast, I'm going to take you on a journey through our programs in order to explore the topics of design, education, and changing the world. In this first season, we're going to zoom in on design and education. Why do we need design and education? How do the two relate to each other? And what actually happens when you combine the two? In each episode, I will be talking to one of our team members, an expert in the fields of design or education, or, most importantly, our very own students. Through their stories, you'll find out how we are trying to achieve our mission of making education and life one. And maybe you'll even find some inspiration to start a transformation of your own. So without further ado, let's get into today's conversation. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Transformation Station. Today I'm joined by the one and only Nienke Meijer, who we all know as the head person of the committee of directors here at Fontys. And sadly she is leaving us soon. So today I wanted to talk to her about tech for society, because this is something that she really added to Fontys. And hi Nienke, well, let's maybe you would like to introduce yourself a bit to our audience.
Yes, of course. Well, I'm now president of the executive board of Fontys, and now for almost 10 years at this position. And indeed, I'm leaving now in a few weeks, which is really sad. But well, I have new things to do, and I think Fontys can cope with doing different things now. But I really hope that Tech for Society will stay, because I think that's very important, not only for our students, but also to be relevant for the next decade, for our students, but also for the people who are working within Fontys.
So can you maybe first introduce to our audience what Tech for Society is and where it started?
Well, it started actually more than 15 years ago, when I was not working at Fontys yet, but I worked in the local newspaper here at Eindhoven's Dagblad. And I was asked by the mayor of Eindhoven to lead a program to make children enthusiastic about technology in school. And at that moment, there was a program running, and it was, if you're wise, then you choose technology. And if you have children of your own, you know that if you do wise, then children will do exactly the opposite. And then I noticed that we really should do something to be more enthusiastic about technology, and not just seeing it as a burden or something bad happening to us. And when I came here within Fontys, I recognized that it's not only technology, but it is really about innovative skills you need for innovation, skills you need to transform and to change the world, actually. Mm-hmm. And then we came up with technology, entrepreneurship, creativity as the main themes for innovation. We started out with it in Dutch, so it was technologie, ondernemerschap en creativiteit. Mm-hmm. But then it became TOC, and TOC is not really interesting, so we made it in English, and now it's TEC. And the first years we really were trying to involve that TEC would be in all the curricula as skills for everybody. And last year, or 1.5 years ago, we said, well, it's not only about tech skills, it is also what you can do with these tech skills for society. Mm-hmm. So then we announced it, Tech for Society as a more broader theme, as well for education, as well for research. Mm-hmm. And I'm really glad to see that we only announced it, that this was the main theme for Fontys. And then, like a snowball, it went all through the organization, and all kind of beautiful initiatives started. Without being a real program, actually, but because it was so recognizable for everybody, and everybody getting really enthusiastic about it. Mm-hmm. So that's a bit how it started.
Cool. And also really nice to hear that it's something that is so organically absorbed by the organization. Which actually brings me to my next question is, what did this tech, which you mentioned isn't a program, actually bring about within Fontys that you didn't expect to happen?
Well, I didn't expect that it would be a movement which went in such fast speed through the whole organization. I knew that there were some people who were really enthusiastic about it, but when I'm at the management event or at the teachers event or at the party where we start a new year of study, the new academic year, then people come to me from all parts of the organization telling me what they are doing about tech for society, or society translated into the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And that is what surprises me most, that without actually doing anything, it really is going to be a broad movement in Fontys. And so my only, not concern, but I hope that the movement is already such good at speed, and there's so many transformers, change agents already in the organization, that it will just go on and infect and influence every student within Fontys. And we've got 45,000 students, so that there are a lot of students. But that's really what I hope.
So what do you think that these people who've already really taken tech on board and are really excited about it, what do you think is really typical or something that you notice in these people?
Well, two things actually. One is that and also I can see that with Pulsed, that if you have students really experience technology, then they're not afraid of it, and then they see the possibilities. And technology is not only technology about the future kind of technology, but also nearby, making things with your hands and really doing something. So that's one thing that's really important. And the other thing is that you can, at the part of the society, you can really connect with your own passion and purpose. So what do you want to do in this society, in this world? You can really connect it to this program or to the curricula or the things you're doing. And I think those both elements are really, really very important.
Yeah, cool. So that actually makes me wonder how, looking back at all the work that you did here, what are some of the things that you made from your personal passion about society that you're most proud of?
Well, in my job, you talk a lot. You don't do not so many things. The things that really will stick to me is that I had a few courses with students at the Institute of Engineering and the Institute of ICT, where I really learned how to do something with 3D printing and programming a little robot, hacking. And that was really a very good experience for me, not just to talk about it, but also experience it myself. And the other thing is that I'm really proud that we could connect our vision on tech for society with the agenda in Brainport, where also now the SDGs are really one of the main themes, and also on the national level, where every school in the Netherlands is now embracing the SDGs.
Yes.
So the movement is not only at Fontys, but also broader in the region and even broader on national level.
Yeah, so there's really this sort of tech motion, but also surrounding the SDGs is spreading across the country.
Yeah, and I think the combination is real key. So it's not only about SDGs, it's not only about tech skills, but the combination is, I think, the main theme that we should try to connect and make it more worthwhile for everybody to contribute to.
So how do you, what sort of opportunities do you see for maybe our students or our teachers or other people in Fontys to make this connection with society more, or what have you already seen happening?
Well, everybody who is studying here has to do an internship. So every year more than 10,000 students of our school are working somewhere in the field. It can be in a hospital, can be in a company, can be in a school, everywhere. And if everybody is connecting tech for society in their internship already, then we can make a major effort and a major impact. So I would like to challenge everybody to see how you can make tech for society not something which is a good story or a good branding thing, but really something that connects to you, and how you can make small steps in the things you're doing. And I think internships are one of the first steps we can make. The others are, of course, the minors, where Pulse also is acting in. So I think we've got a few moments where every student can contribute to Tech for Society in a small but then also an impactful way.
I really like what you say about tech not being just this branding thing, but really everyone creating his or her personal connection with tech. Do you maybe have an example of a student or an employee that you saw which you were like, wow, you really connected personally to tech?
I've got two examples. One is that if I see what's happening at the Center of Expertise, also in high-tech systems and materials, but also in health and technology, there you can see that students are making things that are directly helpful in cure and care for hospitals, or like a technical thing that you can, for when you're in a wheelchair. They made it with 3D printing, for how you can then open a door without having to reach too far. It is really a very small thing. But I know for people in a wheelchair, it's a major opportunity to be more, can do more things on their own. The other example is that they asked me a few months ago if I would like to speak on the annual conference of the SDG Charter in Amsterdam. And with me, I took two of the students of the student forum, and they told their story, how SDGs were connected to their personal passion and purpose, and really made enormous impact there. Hearing them tell how they would connect their own purpose. And I think it's, if we can do that everybody is also able to tell how you connect your own purpose with the SDGs, and do that on a stage where you can influence and inspire other people. I think that's one, well, for me, it's a real inspiring example.
Nice. Yeah, there's so much power in the stories of the students, right?
Yeah, but it's the best power we have, and we should give it more exposure.
Yeah, totally agree. So, what do you hope will really stay when we're talking about tech for society after you have left us?
No, that sounds terrible if you say it like that.
A bit of drama always works.
Yeah, it's like I'm passing away. No, I really hope that the energy will stay. The energy and the enthusiasm about the theme and how it can connect people. So, because when the energy is staying, then it will develop furthermore, and not only the energy with our students, but also with all the teachers and also with all the researchers. And especially the researchers, why we've got these 5 programs on Tech for Society in different streams, because they are doing their research for a longer period, not for just a year, but for 3-4 years. And so that's also sustainable research then. And so I hope if I come back here after 4 or 5 years, then Tech for Society is not just a theme anymore, but it is really in the DNA of all our students.
Really ingrained in our organization.
Yeah, and then I don't have to tell it anymore, but it is so common that everybody's like, okay, this is the way we do it. And I think it's very important that the people in the work field, in the companies and institutions, they recognize the students from Fontys, because they have this real urge to do something for society. Well, then I would be really, really very proud.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what are you going to do in your future endeavors to keep spreading the Tech for Society?
Oh, well, I cannot imagine not doing it, actually. And I'm not going for another job now. And I'm actually now trying to do what we say to our students to do. So we say to our students, go out in society, see where your passion and purpose is, make your own career, think how you want to build your way of an ideal community, an ideal society. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I don't have a real path which I'm going to follow. I'm going to do a few projects, all related to Tech for Society, related for how we can have people being of meaning in our society. So it has to do with reskilling, with making it more easy for people to find a job, which is maybe a bit more out of their comfort zone. And one of the things I really want to do is that all the children in school, in primary school and secondary school, get the tech skills as a normal thing and not as a special project or not because one of the parents is good at it, but because it's just a way of life. And I think that's really important because the next generation, if we don't do that, will be a lost generation. And then you still have to fix it when they're here. And I think it's really important that the children from now learn tech skills as a normal way. So that are two things I really am going to do. But it is not really, it's not a job like a normal job. So I'm going to craft my own future.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I like it very much. And it's also a bit insecure, but that's part of the fun, doing something you not really know what's going to happen. But I feel really very enthusiastic and inspired by it. So
cool. That's also a big step for you.
Yeah, it is a big step for me.
Well, then maybe to start rounding off the conversation, if there are maybe a few tips or things you could say to the students of Fontys now, or maybe the future students of Fontys in relation to Tech for Society, that you would really like them to take on board before, during, or after their study, what would that be?
Well, I think one thing, and that is what you are doing in Pulse in a very good way, is just try. Just try and see what you like, see what you're good at, see and fail, but don't be afraid to fail because that's really the way to learn. And if you stick out of the crowd, just doing the things you really would like to do, then things will come on to your path. So that's what I would advise. What I'm going to do now myself is what I advise actually to all the students. Just go for it and see what's happening, being active, taking risks, and then follow your heart. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
That's it for today's episode. If you want to know more about Pulse, our programs, and what our students get up to, you can find us on social media at Fontys Pulse on YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit our website pulsed-edu.com. That's pulsed-edu.com. Or come visit us. We're in the S3 building on the TU campus, which is at Lismortel 25. You're always welcome to come see our epic workplace and see what our students get up to in real life. And next to that, I would of course love to have you back for the next episode of Transformation Station. A new episode comes every 2 weeks, so I hope to see you in the next one.